Conscious collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, changemakers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
What up, y'all? This is Emily.
And I'm Lisa, and we are the Conscious Collaboration. And I brought with me today my good friend Cheryl. And we talk about her all the time, and we've manifested her into showing up and joining us today. I'd like to say that she is a revolutionary artist, evolving from a very practical background, a fun background, baked into marketing and spiritual business and so on and so forth. Well, she's created her own system of higher self imagery, which I've been partaking in. And we're going to talk about it here today. So, Cheryl, say hi to the Conscious Collaboration.
Hello, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you and Emily, and finally getting to meet Emily as well. And yeah, I'm all about the higher self. So I'm really excited to delve deep into this and really like talk about the subjects because all of this matters, of course, in the world that we're living in. And the Conscious Collaboration podcast, I feel like is just such an amazing segue into like all of these topics. So I'm really excited for all of it.
Yay, me too. Yeah, you're right. You hit the nail on the head too, because this is such an important time that we're collaborating and talking and tuning into these new ways of doing things. We're in the age of Aquarius and period 9 in Feng Shui and fire horse energy, all of these things. So we know that the way that things have been looking are no longer. So systems are crumbling and being rebuilt. And yeah, Emily and I and all of our guests, we've been talking about this for a couple years. It felt like just towers upon towers falling down. And out of that, everyone is championing from their own thought leadership, new ways of doing things. Tell us a little bit about this higher self imagery that I love so much. And how did it evolve into what it is today?
Oh my God, I love this. I actually started AI higher self imagery 2 years ago when it first came out. And I was so frustrated with it because I knew that it wasn't working. You know, like when you see the model and like it spits out who you're trying to create and you're like, it's just the feeling, you know, like as an artist, you're like, that's not it. And so that's how it all started because I really wanted to get it right, but I was so disheartened because when I was presenting it to the people that I did it for, they were like, no. Even Lisa, remember, like I did it for the first time. You're like, it doesn't really look like me. And I was like, oh,
like I was like, I took your class, you taught us in a workshop and I, followed along with you and there were a good number of people that showed up and we had been messing around with AI in different ways. And you just have this, like, even then, you just had a very nuanced way of generating imagery so much better than any of the rest of us were. We were getting frustrated and not even close. But back in that day, we had to watch out for like extra fingers and weird too many teeth in your mouth.
I want to kind of walk it back even a little bit further if we can. And like, when and how did this idea come about of using the AI technology to create a version of someone's higher self?
oh my gosh, actually, that's a really great question. You know what? I think like where it comes from and where it stems from is like I just have this passion about being able to align to the higher self always, right? And so for me, it's asking myself the question, how can I help other people as well as myself align to my highest version, the greatest version that I can be in this lifetime? And I've always been asking myself that question. And so that's when I saw that there was a possibility of AI being able to do that, to be able to see yourselves in that highest version, that's when I started to play around with it. And that's where the idea stemmed from. So that was from 2 years ago. And so even now, it's like, it's not just about the visioning, it's about how you can really be that as well. So that's why, like, I'm evolving into like the higher self AI photos and making it realistic, very expressionistic, right? Because the one thing that I feel like that a lot of people are really being called to do is express. That's why, like, like there's a lot of people that are kind of, a lot of shame comes up for them, or a lot of fear comes up for them being able to show up. But when you see yourself in your highest version and you really get activated by that, right? I feel like it's like a visual activation that happens with people. Then you actually feel like that's you because of the expressionism that is included within the AI images. There's like that neuroplasticity in your brain that's like, oh my God, that's me. And then you start making decisions from that place and space, and then that's where everything kind of falls into. That's where people start taking action. That's where they're like inspired. With inspiration comes like the expansion. With the expansion comes like, within the quantum, you start to see things in a different perspective, and therefore it manifests like to you because you're seeing in a different perspective as well. So that's why I feel like it's such an activation where people see themselves as their higher selves, they feel it, and then they take action from there. That's why it's so powerful. That's why AI gives us the opportunity to really like be able to see ourselves in a different way and create in a different space and place than we were from before. So yeah, I love that question so much. Thanks for asking that. And I hope like for what you were talking about too, Lisa, like in where it is today, it's because AI has become like, so again, so quickly, so fast, being able to get the realism of that person's face, make it photorealistic, so that then now it's like you do not have to go and get a photo shoot to get this done, right? You can have the idea, have a dragon, be a mermaid, do all these things, but still see yourself in the photo, knowing that even though it's AI, there's still that correlation because your brain doesn't really know the difference between what is reality and what isn't. But the more that you can relate to the reality, the more that it becomes real. That's why it's so powerful now. Even like with videos and things like that, like video is like the next stage that I'm working towards, because brands, like when people want to feel the brands, video, like image is one thing, but video is another. It's like another visceral experience that you're going to have when you see yourself in your brand, but on another level. It's like another level that you're breaking through. So does that, yeah, I love that.
And I'm very curious about the process too, and we'll get into that for sure. But what I was like dying to already start talking about in the pre-chat, and I was like, no, wait till we push record. I was just thinking about how we talk about manifestation, and like that the biggest component of manifestation is actually putting yourself in the energy of the thing or the situation that you're trying to manifest before you actually have or are or become that thing, which seems like that's like saying, you just graduated from college and you want to get this job, but you have to have experience before you get this job, kind of thing. And it's like, well, how do we do that? But this seems like a really great tool to be able to actually visualize and imagine yourself embodying that manifestation before it happens, thereby really boosting your ability to get to that point, that highest self point.
Well, a lot of it is imagination, right? Imagining at the very, very forefront. That's why creativity is so important, like for all of us. Like, like when we talk about like, oh yeah, like I want to be my higher self, and like, and you visualize it in your mind, the other part of it as well, like, being able to manifest what you desire and what you actually want, is also knowing that you do have to take some action towards that, because the action is actually what aligns you to that highest version. And some people kind of forget that, right? It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to feel this and I'm going to visualize, do all the things. And then here comes an opportunity that comes your way because of your visualization and your feeling. And then you're like, oh no, I can't do it right now. No, I'm not ready for that. No, 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 can't do it right now. And so like part of manifestation is, yes, feeling and being, but the being is actually like, who is the person that actually does the thing? Do they care about what people think? Do they care about boundaries? Do they care about self-care? What do they care about? What do they do every single day? And so this is part of like, yes, feeling, visualization, all the things, but being it is the action that actually gets you there. That is the quantum leaping. Sometimes, like, I was talking with my friend the other day because she's like, oh yeah, and she's, she's working on all the things and is in the same exact place as she was before, 7 months ago, a year ago, 2 years from before. And she's amazing. She's an amazing woman, but the choices that she's making is not in alignment. The action that she's taking is not in alignment. Sometimes when you're like, okay, I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to do this program and I'm going to do this thing, set the date. It's like you're going on vacation, right? You're traveling to the destination. If you're traveling, because I'm going to Costa Rica. I'm going to set the date. I'm going to book the flights. What do I need to do to get there?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the exact same thing with anything that you want to create. Who do I need to speak to? What do I need to find out? What's the information? Like, those are the things. Like, sometimes manifestation is more than just sitting back and like letting it happen. And yes, it does happen like that, and it may take longer, but sometimes the quantum leaping is like doing the scariest thing that you don't want to do, because everything is on the other side of fear. And that's the reality.
I always find fitness analogies, because that's kind of my space, right? Okay. And I mean, it's easy to find really tangible analogies in that regard, and that's what I'm thinking, in case anybody's having a hard time conceptualizing this, is like, if we could, okay, I'm a person who's going to go on some sort of a fitness journey, health and fitness. I want to get my body composition and my health from point A to point B. First of all, imagine how helpful it would be to initiate behavior change if you had already the image of what you were going to look like. Even though, yes, a lot of this, what we're talking about, is not visible, has to do with internal health, but nonetheless, we are visual creatures, whether we want to admit that or not. So imagine if you could see that end result, in a way that you're like, but that could literally be a picture of me. Like, how did this happen? And if you could have that in your mind when it's time to, again, in part of completing that manifestation, because even a fitness journey is a manifestation, right? Like, obviously you can't just sit on the couch and make a vision board and expect to get from point A to point B in a fitness journey, but having that visual and then reverse engineering kind of how do I get there. But that would be such a good motivator to actually take those steps to change the behaviors and create the habits that'll get you from point A to point B. So, I mean, I can imagine this working pretty much exactly the same way, right?
And it actually does. I have a funny story about that, because one of my clients who I first started working with, again, with these higher self images, like at the beginning of this journey, again, like 2 years later, she was like, oh, she's like, these higher self images work, because she's like, I created a higher self image of what I wanted my body to look like. Mm-hmm. And 3 months later, because I've been working towards that goal, it's like almost exact. And I was like, yeah. And she's
Mhm.
like, and that's when because she is also like a manifestation coach as well, and she's like, the higher self imagery, it creates the neuroplasticity in your brain to be able to see yourself in a different light, in a different perspective. And even now, like, she's moving differently, she's creating differently because she sees herself in her content, right? It's like, this is like such a powerful tool that is like bringing us to the forefront of like having to see it, like visualize it into our minds, to having it actually tangible in our hands and looking at ourselves. You may like, like if you have that fitness goal in mind and you're like, okay, I want this body, I want this size, and like, I want my butt to look like this, and you look at it every day, that's energy.
Mhm.
You are literally like having these, things on, and you're like literally just not looking at anything else. You're focusing so hard. And like, it's like anything, it's like what you focus on expands. So you're literally shortening that time to your focus and creating that. And that's why when Lisa, you were saying that your higher self images are now helping you like to create, because every time you're looking at yourself, you're seeing yourself in a different light. And like, obviously, like when I tuned into your higher self, Lisa, I was like, I do see more expression happening. I see like more of this flow, like, because you already are like a flowy person in your personality and in the way that you like show up. But like now it's like the imagery was wanting for that to come through more of like, this is me, but I am like really flowy and expressive. And so
Yeah,
I
that was such a cool process. Even just going through the process of sharing with you the types of images or like clothing or whatever. I know it's much deeper than what I can describe here. Even just the process of compiling things already started things in motion. It was like deeper than a vision board or anything of that matter. And then when you came back and you even threw in some extra things for me, like the sensual image that you shared, like that is so easy to connect to, by the way. And it's really neat to be able to see yourselves in like it's not just the environment or whether or not you want a dragon or anything like that. It's like you said, your expressions that are what you connect to. So that could equate to confidence or like you're alluding to the flowiness or anything like that. It's once you see that, it's kind of like always in the back of your head. And every now and then I'll make a connection like, like it feels comfortable, familiar, to be in certain situations that I really like that. But I think it also, we were talking about this time being it's more about visibility. And a lot of people, especially people these days, when we come out, we're so many years out of the pandemic, but it felt like people went inside, everyone went remote. They weren't as visible outside of like their screen life. So to be like, I think that also limits and controls to a degree how much you actually move within the world.
yeah.
So I think the work that you do is really important for people. And I'm sure you could tell us too. Do you have experience with people that have challenges with that fully being seen for who they are type of aspect?
Oh my gosh, yes, of course, because sometimes you don't want to get dressed up and you don't want to do the things. And sometimes you do. And then, like I think what is really cool again about like the visibility factor is, like again, as a tool, it just allows you to save time. Like, let's be real. We as entrepreneurs, we are multi-passionate. There's so many things that we want to do for ourselves, not just to like show up online. We want to spend more time with our kids. We want to do all this. Like, we want to expand our knowledge. We want to take all these courses. And so again, because it's the year of the horse, it's like, how can we show up for ourselves and also feel good about showing up?
Mhm.
And like AI photos, because again, it's so realistic and it's so expressionistic. I feel really good about showing up online. My clients feel really good about showing up online, not having to, like worry about what they look like, but knowing that it's still them, that they can show up, like that they can do all the makeup and do all the things and take all the time, right? And it's not like it's not really about perfection. I think it's really about um being able to create your life in the way that you desire it, not having to spend time on things that we used to have to take time to do in order to do it. So it, like, I feel like the efficiency aspect is great with the visibility, you know, and like, I feel like there's also part of it as well. It's like, it also challenges you to embody this highest version of yourself every time you see her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, authenticity.
You're so right,
like,
too, like
yeah,
about the efficiency and that type of thing. Since we, reconnected to do this last round of work, I had photo shoots scheduled. But one was canceled due to weather. It hasn't rebooked. It's so hard to find time on a calendar and so on and so forth. Another, just didn't make, the connection to the lifestyle imagery that I needed. Pretty pictures, but there's a difference between having a pretty portrait or, like grinning. And then there's that layer of really being able to capture personality or in the way that it needs to be. And I know, that's a real challenge for a photographer behind the lens to make someone feel comfortable enough to not be overly posed. I don't feel comfortable. I'm like Emily and I always talk about anchor man. Like, what do I do with my hands? I don't feel comfortable when people are like wanting me in a posed position. I just don't do that. And I know you've looked at like hundreds of my photos and so on and so forth. I'm a very awkward person in pose, but in lifestyle, I think I am flowy and natural. But in posing, I'm like, where does my arm go? Act natural.
I think that's such a really good point. It's like, and I mean, like, the thing is, I know that things are evolving so fast, and just speaking to the photography aspect of it, like you talked about the weather and cancellations and things like that. I mean, there are really good aspects of photography, and there's are really good aspects for AI. And like, when you can do photography and have fun with it, like, I think it's really more about like in alignment with what you really want to do. Like, if you want to do a photo shoot, go do it. Like, be that person. And you can still be that person in the AI photography. I think there's just different expressionistic ways that there are so many benefits with AI photography as well, like, as not having to pose and like doing all those things and just telling.
At the Conscious Collaboration Podcast, we are proud affiliates of Atapa medical grade red light therapy devices. Red light therapy boasts a long list of clinically proven benefits, many that I and many of my clients have experienced firsthand. You can be sure that you'll be able to train harder, recover faster, and sleep better with Atapa red light therapy. Visit myatapa.com, myatapa.com, or use the link in our Instagram bio to shop with the code COLLAB15, that's COLLAB 15, for a discount on your device.
The artist, like myself, what you want. And especially, like, I think it's a little bit different now these days in terms of evolving. I just want to take this conversation a little bit deeper, because now that we're all evolving again, like, I think this is so good because it's the conscious collaboration. It's like our consciousness is expanding, and there's a reason why it's expanding, so that we can be more intuitive, that we can be more psychically connected and read each other and understand what is authentic and what is not, right? And I think that being like me, like having to go through my journey of healing and delving into my intuition and expanding my intuition, like on purpose, is actually helping me on a deeper level with my clients, because I'm actually able to capture that. And I think that's what makes me so different than any other artist, or like what my, like what my specialty is because like I can actually connect with that highest version and like actually tap in psychically and connect and say, okay, like, what wants to come through? How do you want to express yourself? And what is it, that, like, what can I do to help you and like your higher self, you and your higher self, to express that in the world? And I feel like the whole world is moving that way, because expressionism and being able to express oneself and connect with other people is exactly what we're evolving to right now, because before we were just so divided and so separate, and now we're realizing that consciousness is all one, and so we are all one. How are we collaborating in that way? How are we connecting in that way? And that AI visual aspect of it is being able to express yourself so that you can connect with the right people, and even not just the right people, yourself, which is the most important part.
So can we talk then a little bit more about your process, to whatever degree you're okay with talking about that, and like why, why this would be so vastly different from just saying, hey, Chatty, give me a picture of my highest self. Like what, what are you working on to create this?
Yeah, the process is, so I have like a signature process that I go through. I'm actually creating videos on that right now, just to explain it, because I think it's really important. Like everybody has their own process and everybody feels their own process. For me, I really like to, at the very, very beginning, have my clients visualize, okay, what it is that they want. If they want a vision board, if they want to create the vision board, amazing. But at the very beginning of my process, I actually do an intuitively channeled mood board reading. So what happens is, yeah, I sit and I like literally connect to this person's higher self, my client's higher self. And I'm like, and I just tune in and I just sit there quietly and I ask the questions. I ask like, what wants to come through? What colors? And I just sit quietly and I just wait for things to come. And then once things come, I'm like, okay. So one time, one of my clients was like, "Oh yeah, like just read me, just have fun with it." I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right, I'm feeling gold. So I'm looking through Pinterest. So this intuitive process includes Pinterest. So I go through Pinterest and I look through all the gold pictures and I feel into it. And then I like whatever the feeling calls to me intuitively, that nudge, then I just click on that and I create this mood board based on this intuitively channeled reading. And then once I have the mood board, then I really sit again and I say, okay, well, what messages do you have for this client? And so once I give them the Pinterest board, then I also give them the reading through Messenger or whatever means of communication that we have. And I talk about the mood board. I talk about what's coming through. One of my clients who the moon goddess visual was coming through, it was like, it was like old Italy vibes, but it was like bringing ancient wisdom to modern knowledge. And she was to be the bridge between that. Like these are things that are coming through that are like, yeah, it's all part of the higher self. So it all connects. And then once we have the intuitive channeled mood board done, the next step is then to actually create the photos. So then we have the model created. So that's like the second step of the process. I get all of the images from the client. So all angles and all things. Models are really, really important within this creative process, because if you don't have a model and you have different shots and different, like lighting and all the things, then it just comes out weird. That's why model is still important in this process. So I create the model shots and then I give them, like the first visual or the first round. They go through it. They tell me what they like, what they don't like. And then we go through a few rounds of revisions, few tweaks, because at this stage, then you can change the hair color, the hairstyle. You can change the background. You can change the dress. You can change like all sorts of things. If you want to be holding flowers, you can hold flowers. Not that people want that, but when we go through the revisions and make the tweaks, then it comes to the final imagery, and then they get their final images, and then that's it. One thing that I can really say about this process though is I've kind of like really simplified everything, because I don't necessarily need a million things from the client. I know like some entrepreneurs and some branding artists do require like, give me all the colors and give me all the things. It's not really necessary anymore. And I know with Lisa, when we did the process, you were so good in providing me all of it. But some clients just want to be like, here, this is my vision, and go. And I can actually do that. Like I don't need all of the things. If you tell me what you want, I can actually tune in. And if you have like a few pictures, I can tune in from there and then we can go. So it's not taking you like 20 million hours just to get the process right up front, unless you have to take your own pictures. But even still, even if you take your own pictures, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need like the right angles and the right expressions of your face so that we can then fine tune it in AI.
So who is this for? Is this solely geared towards entrepreneurs, or who are you really reaching for here?
Right now, like all of my clients are entrepreneurs right now. I mean, like obviously we could go further and deeper into like other clientele, but because I'm connected with so many people who like this is what I actually love with clients, like the type of clientele that I have, like they're people that are having this desire to make a bigger impact in the world, because that's what I want as well. Like I have this deep desire to be able to help people see themselves, because that's inner wealth. Like I have this deep desire to help people align to inner wealth in order for them to show up and make an even bigger impact in the world. It's like the type of people that I really love working with are like people who are like, yes, this is me. I'm gonna create this thing to help millions of people, thousands of people, whatever it is, so that they can envision themselves in a higher way. And how I'm doing that is exactly in the same way, but I'm just helping them do it. And then other people, like my mentors and everything else, are helping me do that. You know what I mean? Like it's all in alignment in this like conscious, I don't want to say bubble, but it's like a conscious
collaboration. It's a conscious collaboration.
Exactly. Like there's just this frequency of being when you know exactly what you want, and naturally things just come to you. So that's what I really love. Like I'm not opposed to helping other people do it, like, but at the same time, even if I do it for them, which I am, I did one for my best friend because I just took her through a different program that has to do with higher self, but not necessarily just art. But I did a higher self image for her because she completed this program with me, and she was just like over the moon. She's like, this is exactly how I see myself. This is exactly how I feel about myself. Again, making the tangible. Like there's something different when it's in your head versus in your on the screen. It's real.
1,000%. I love that phrase too, of inner wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you coined that, but I love that phrase. And it's like, I don't know, it's a more like I feel like it talks about the concept of you can only fill from an overflowing cup type of thing, but
100%
in a more entrepreneurial coded language.
Yeah, well, entrepreneurship like is a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Like it makes you meet the darkest places of yourself that you may not want to see. Like when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I was in an MLM. And I was selling alkaline water and things like that. But I didn't realize that it was going to take me down this path of personal development and mindset. I was like, no, I'm just going to sell water and make a whole bunch of money. No, that's not even it. It was like, no, you have to meet your shadows. You got to do the inner work, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to connect with people, because you're not connecting to yourself. And that's a fact. Like how can you reach people without
did a whole episode too about how being an entrepreneur is not simply about running a business.
Exactly. And one of my mentors this year said something really, really, like, this is what really kind of clicked in with me. He was like, if you are not pouring from yourself, and you're giving from fumes, you're never really going to create true wealth for yourself, because true wealth is like in all aspects, it's living life. But how can you live life without giving to yourself first? You have to give to yourself, pour into yourself, and then you can pour from an overflowing cup. He's like, the best thing that you can do for yourself is love on yourself, take care of yourself, eat well, sleep better. Then you can take care of your little ones. You can expand your business on so many levels, and it expands in a more aligned way, in a more conscious and collaborative way, because you're doing that first. And I was like, fuck, like Sorry, I don't know if we can swear on this, but but okay, good, because that's
Bring 'em on.
yeah. And it's because, like, in previous years when I was working, I was giving from an empty cup and I couldn't understand why. I just felt so exhausted all the time. But when it gives you life, you're only creating more of that, you know?
Yeah. And it's just like you said, and we've talked about this ad nauseum too. It's like putting yourself unapologetically first is not only the best thing you can do for yourself, but for everyone that you interact with and care about, including your children.
Yes, because everything that wants to come through you is actually something that people are ready to hear. And that's like, that's part of the consciousness already. It's like, I put out a post the other day. I put out a reel about AI and how, and health, and how it's actually lying about certain things. Because like I've actually experienced, like health and healing. And I was asking AI about like healing with cavities and health.
Yeah.
I'm healing my daughter's cavities right now. And it was saying like, oh yeah, like you cannot do that, like it's impossible to do. And I was like, no, that's not right. It's actually happened, you know what I mean? And I put that out there, and then people just started commenting and was like, oh my gosh, like, they were in agreement with it. But like, this was something before I put it the reel that a little bit of my ego was like, should I even put this out there? Like, it's like one of those things, but once you put it out there, people are like, yeah, like they agree as well, or they don't, and they fall away, and that's okay too.
That's okay.
Yeah, and it happens. It happens. So
Love it.
Yeah.
There's so much that I want to say, and I hope that you're gonna come back and talk with us again someday. Because everything that you're saying, like Emily's affirming you by saying, like, oh my gosh, this is what we talk about and this is what we need to hear. And I do think that we've been saying this, and I know you've seen this too, Cheryl, in the past, 10 years, there's more and more people joining entrepreneurialism than ever before. And I think, and it always starts with a transformation, a big change, or a tower falling, or, it starts with something significant. And it's almost like, there's always these references of like you're a butterfly coming out of a cocoon. Like there's all these different allegories about entrepreneurialism and coming into who you're truly here to be. And I think the work that you're doing, and I love that you're a true artist and that you're embracing all of these tools, because there is such a resistance to, and a fear around using modern technology, thinking that you're abandoning yourself in some way. It's different now. It's different than when AI first came out, and it was truly ripping off artwork at one point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And this is the other part of it too. I would love to come back, because I know that even for myself, I am evolving to different things, and the inner wealth part is something that I'm like really passionate about, because you see your higher self, but like, what is the fastest way to get there? And like, one thing that I'm really exploring now, and I would love to talk to you ladies about one day, is to really clear up like our bodies. And so what I've been doing the last like 3-4 months is literally clearing all my body of all the toxins that have been flooding it for years. And again, I took my best friend through this program, and she cleared all of her toxins, and she feels more grounded. Same with me. I have more energy, more clear, more inspiration is coming through. I don't have days. I have my days where like things can take me out, but it doesn't take me out. I'm more emotionally stable. Like, it's crazy how toxins in your body will actually elongate the sad emotions, like the negative emotions, versus now I'm able to go through it like this. Like yesterday actually, somebody messaged me and said like, oh, like it sent a negative message, and I felt the anger, and then it went away, and I was like, oh, okay, like I can deal with this, it's okay. Versus it would have taken me out like for weeks, like. And this is where, like, when we're in alignment with, it's like my desire to bring people to their highest selves faster is like through being able to cleanse all of this and being that person at the same time. There's like there is like that gap, that people are working towards because they see themselves and are like, oh, but how do I get there? But you can, and this
energetic Drano.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Energetic Drano. Unclogging. Yeah. And well, if you think about it too, because there's so many toxins in your body, your energy is going towards cleaning out the toxins. That's why you feel tired all the time. It's because your body is working really hard. Your body is the most, sophisticated AI out there. But if it's busy working on other things, then you don't actually know who you truly are unless all the toxins are cleared out. How are you going to know yourself if, like if you have so much processed foods in your body that you're taking all these supplements that aren't necessary, that you're, you know what I mean? Like you're eating all of these things that like your body has to now take its energy from you in order to clear that out so that you can get back into alignment, but you're feeding the process over and over and over. So that's why people feel tired, stagnant, they're stuck, they feel emotionally like crazy, like they don't feel themselves, is because they're not themselves because of the toxicity. So this is another conversation to be had, but
yeah, and it's so related to talking about, just the expression aspect of it, because I look at pictures of myself going through the most toxic years of my life before, going through divorce and really toxic workplace and that type of thing. And I look at pictures of myself and, put together and everything, and I just look so dead, like dead eyes.
Yeah.
And and I don't see in your images, it does you do a great job with the expression and connecting because you create these models so perfectly, which is so helpful, I think, for someone who may be trying to bridge that gap coming out of transition, transitioning out of something that's difficult into expressing into their system of creation for their entrepreneurialism or something of that nature. But it is very relevant. And I have, just from here in Florida, witnessing you up in Canada, just watched you go through your health journey, and I've seen the transformation in you, and you're living it. So you're not just talking the talk, you're living it. So yay, Cheryl.
Yay.
Love it.
Thank you. And I desire that for everybody, like living it. Like if people have the desire to like live in their highest version, it's not easy. Absolutely, but it can get easier like when you take the steps. And I think like having
maintenance.
Yeah, and also having like wonderful ladies like you as support, like I know you guys have a community as well, like helping people walk through, like some of the hardest decisions, or like inspiring them to take the action, like that's what it's about. And oh my gosh, like we're all going to be going back to community because that's where it's about. Like we're clearing out all the things, aligning to our higher selves, and we create these communities. Oh my gosh, the world is going to be so different in the next 20 years. So different.
Love it. I definitely want to work with you, and I think it would be a really cool, like, maybe our listeners would be interested to sort of witness that, to have you back on later after we've worked together and kind of, just uncover what we've discovered, if you're down.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I'm down. I'm so down for that. I think it would be amazing. And I would be so honored to be part of the process as well, like for you and being able to help guide you in that way. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Oh gosh.
In fact, let's make sure that we're all connected to you via all the socials, and that everybody has, of course, we'll put it all in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'm going to find you on Facebook right now.
Perfect.
Yes. We'll put it in the show notes, and you'll be inside of the Conscious Collaboration Collective, and it's closed and private. So, people can really speak from their heart, and you're a very safe person to talk to and share with. And I just want to, say that, I've known you for many years and we've never met in person, but I 100% trust you. You know so much about me, and I know you have that connection with every client, and that's why you're able to tap into those expressions in a deeper way. And I truly have experienced improvements So, here you get a live testimonial from both and soon to be Emily too. But I truly have felt, even just from very first creating that, the vision board process with you, I truly have felt more connected and easier, more of a connection to the direction that I'm going, so being able to visualize that from the place of expression and connection. So you'll be inside of our closed and private Facebook group. We invite everybody to join us in there and to meet you inside. And we'll continue this conversation there. And I know we're going to have you back, and I hope to have you back time and time again. And yay. So yeah, wonderful.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. It was so lovely, lovely. I love it.
Yes.
All right. And our closing signature is so true, because we'll talk to you in 5.
2 and 5. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.